Hey, Carly. Hold on, Jackie's messaging me. No technical difficulties tonight. Fingers crossed. Hold on. Minnie's in Hawaii. Hold on, guys. There's a bad echo. All right, we're trying. Hold on. She's not getting it. Oh my gosh. Okay. Ah.
Hey, Kristen.
Oh, there you are.
I made it. I made it. I was like, I've never put that in. I've just always clicked on the main link. It wouldn't work. It was the weirdest thing. It was like, sorry, this is not a host.
Anyway. I'm getting a little nervous there.
Me too, especially after Tuesday. My Tuesday call.
I was just saying, pray no technical difficulties.
All done.
Well,
all good.
Thank you. I don't have to introduce her, guys. Don't. Thank you so much, Jackie, for joining us tonight.
I'm so excited to be here.
Yes. I've got my pen and paper ready.
All right. Well, I'll just jump in. I'm really excited to be on your team call. I don't think I've ever been on one of your team calls, and so this is fun and exciting. And I just wanted to share with you a couple of things. First of all, I hope that everybody is rocking along with getting ready for Sean Week next week and Shift Shop that's coming up and a lot of exciting things. I think that we are on this cusp of seeing a huge upswing after a very difficult year. I think a lot of you would agree that this has been such a challenging year for several reasons within, not just within Beachbody, within the type of business that we do in general. But I'm really stoked and excited about some things that are coming up and a shift that I'm seeing. No correlation there to our new program, but a shift that I'm seeing. But I wanted to start off tonight just thinking, as I've thought about what I wanted to talk with y'all about and how I wanted to address a few issues with you and hopefully leave you tonight inspired to feel confident about what you are doing as a Beachbody coach, to feel confident in who you are as a Beachbody coach and what this company means. So I'm going to ask you a question. First of all, that I want you to really think about, and of course I'm not asking you to answer it here on this call, but I do want you to really think about this. When this business gets hard, do you think about quitting? or do you think about getting better? What's your first response? And there's no judgment here. I just want you to really think about, what is your natural tendency when things get hard in this business? Do you gravitate towards, lean towards quitting? Or do you lean towards, what can I do to get better? What can I do to make this better? And a lot of what your response is will dictate how you grow in this business. If you decide not to quit, if you stay in this business, a lot of your initial response to that question that I just asked you is going to dictate how you grow as a person, as a coach, and as a team. Because whether you realize it or not, that initial reaction that you have when things get hard, and they will get hard. If you've not experienced hard times in this business or life in general, you haven't lived long enough, and you haven't been in this business long enough, because it's just the nature of any beast. No business rocks along smoothly for eternity. There are struggles and there are hard times that you have to get by. And what I want to help you do is to prepare you and equip you mentally to get through those hard times, so that physically and manifesting, physically in your business, you're going to prosper and be better and be a stronger person and be a stronger team, because that mental click of, when it gets hard, do I lean to quit or do I lean to get better? And I want every single one of you to lean to get better. I want you to lean into this. I want you to embrace the hard times as a time to improve, and not as a time to quit and give up and throw your hands up and think, oh, I'm out. Because that doesn't serve anyone well. It doesn't serve yourself well, because what happens a lot of times is we tend to turn inward and become critical of ourselves because we gave up on something that maybe we shouldn't have given up on. So when times get hard, do you think about quitting or do you think about getting better? Do you dig in? Do you ride the wave, or are you the wave? So think about this. When you're out in the ocean and I was thinking about this the other day when we were out in our boat on the lake. When you're in a boat and you're on a vessel or you're on a surfboard or whatever, and the waves are up and down, you go with that wave, but you're not actually what's causing it, right? You're on a board, you're on a vessel that keeps you steady on top of that wave, right? But if you are that wave, you're the one that's causing it to be up and down. You're the one that goes up and down all the time. And which one are you? Are you riding the wave? Do you ride the waves of these hard times, or do you become part of the problem? Do you become that up and down? Do you bring others down? Do you bring your team down? Do you bring yourself down because you're up and down and up and down? You've got to think about that, and you have to honestly answer that. And it's no judgment, because here's the good news. If that's you, if you gravitate towards being a quitter, or if you gravitate towards being the wave, you can fix it. It's all in your control. And how do we do it? Personal development. And I'm not here to recommend a personal development book or podcast or anything like that for you, because it's such a personal thing. I don't know what you struggle with. You have to figure that out. But you need to be very honest with yourself and think, how do I ride the waves of this business? Hey girl, got a ghost. No, it's my dog. How do you ride the waves of this business? So I want to give you some tips to get through the hard times, some tips to help you to not gravitate towards quitting, but to gravitate towards getting better. And one of the things is that you need to set goals that are doable for you. Now, I know that you always hear stretch yourself and think big, and you do need to do that. But here, if you're going through a hard time, if there are things in your business and in your life that are pulling you down right now, the last thing you need to do is set the highest goal in this business to reach, because it's not rational to think that whatever's going on in your life right now is going to allow you to do that. So if you're Emerald and you're struggling in this business right now, whether it's mentally or actually manifesting in your business, but not being where you want to be, it's kind of silly to say, I'm going to be 15 star by December, right? That's so crazy. That's such a huge goal that your actions and what you can commit to this business right now will not get you there. There's just no way that it can. And what happens is what I see is people set those humongous goals out there for themselves, and then they're defeated and they're beat down and they struggle more. So I'm by no means telling you not to set goals for yourself, because you do need to have goals, but this is something that you have to be honest with yourself about. Where am I today in my life, in my circumstances, in what I'm living with and dealing with right now that will allow me to reach XYZ goal? And so a lot of coaches that I visit with, their goals are way outside of the realm of what they can practically do to reach those. Because if you set a goal way beyond what you can do, you're going to become frustrated. And a lot of times what happens when we become frustrated is that we start with excuses and we start blaming. We start with excuses of why. Well, you know, it's real easy to fall into that, giving excuses about everything going on in your life as to why you can't reach this certain goal, when really that goal was way out there for you. But if you'll set a goal that you can reach and maintain according to your lifestyle right now, you're going to be more likely to hit that goal. And if you'll look at your goal as just a stepping stone, not a finish, I'm not going to finish when I get to diamond. That's just a step. That's just a step up, right? And if you'll start looking and setting more manageable goals for yourself, you won't be as frustrated and you won't be as defeated. And nobody can set those goals but you. Nobody, not your upline, not your spouse, not your kids. Nobody should tell you what that goal should be, because that in and of itself, if you're setting a goal dependent on what you think your upline wants, you're going to be frustrated. And I see that a lot of times because we're people pleasers, or so many of us are. We're people pleasers, and we want to please our upline or our customers or our other coaches. And then we become disgruntled and we start making excuses as to why we can't. Whereas if we had just really sat down and thought about what our manageable goals are, what our realistic goals are for ourselves, you're going to be more likely to hit those. And then that encourages you to move on to the next goal. You build up steam. It's like building up steam on this train we're on, right? That you reach that next stop and you're like, oh, I can do this. And so you set another goal. Oh, I can do this. But set it for what's realistic for you. So set those goals and then set intentional actions. I mean, I probably don't have to really say this, except that I do, because I see it. People set goals and they don't back it up with actions, even when they can. And a lot of the reasons why is because of two things. And we go back to the excuses that people make for why they can't. And I talked about this last night, actually, in our Emerald call. And excuses are based on fear of failure and fear of rejection. And most people will shy away from the goals that they've set themselves. They fill in the blanks, that gap between where they are now and where they need to be with their goals. They fill in that blank with excuses and blame. And they start making excuses of why they can't, and saying, you know, well, my family or my church or whatever. And I'm not belittling other obligations to other things, but I'm just saying, when you set that goal, you knew where you were, right? And so don't fill in that gap with excuses. Fill in that gap with intentional actions that can reach that goal. And I just have to say this so much, because I talked with a coach last week that quit, and because that just happens, and it quit. And they said, well, I just want to really devote more time to my church. And that's so admirable, right? Who doesn't? I mean, who's going to argue with that? I'm not going to go, no, girl, you don't need to devote more time to your church. Of course you do. But here's what I want to say to you. If you truly want to spend more time with your family, if you truly want to spend more time doing the things that you love, or with the people that you love, or your organizations that you're so passionate about, you should grow this business. I have never in my life been in a place that I have more time, more money, more energy to spend on the things I care about. And it's all because of this business. Because I sacrificed, and really I did sacrifice early on, but what I did was I filled that gap in from where I was to where I set my goal. I filled the gap in with intentional action, not excuses. So when you set your goals, if you see yourself getting in a pattern of making excuses as why you can't do those actions, our 4 vital behaviors, to fill in that gap to move you towards your goal, if you begin filling that gap with excuses, you will not make it in this business. And I hate it so much. I hate when I see coaches fall into that progression, because I see it start this downward spiral that becomes out of control, and then they just throw their hands up. And I don't want that for you. I want you to do these things that I know that I'm sitting here today 9 years later, not because this business never had hard times or was never hard, because it was, and it is. It's not, I'm not sitting here today with the success that I've had because someone else did it for me. And I'm not sitting here in the spot because it was easy. I'm sitting here because I filled in that gap of every one of my goals with intentional actions, right? So that's what you need to do. Set those goals that are manageable, that are really, that fit in with your life. Set those goals, then start filling in those days heading towards the goal with intentional actions that are going to get you there. And I don't have to go through those actions, because you can go through our Coach Basics and see, or I can just tell you, or just hold up my fingers. Those 4 things, just intentional actions. And it doesn't have to be a lot, y'all. Depending on your goal. If you set a goal for 15 star, it's going to be a lot. It's going to be a whole lot. If you set those small manageable goals, then just the actions that lead you to it aren't as big as the huge goals that you want to reach. So intentional actions. Stop making excuses. I just told you excuses are from fear and unbelief. And I know nobody joined this business thinking, oh, I don't believe in this product, or I don't believe in this programs. But a lot of times your actions say that. And a lot of times it's not that you don't believe in it. It's just that you don't know enough about it to feel confident enough to stand before anybody and tell them about this business and tell them about our products, and to be an apologetic, I won't even talk about that. But if you can't stand up and defend what we do and who we are and what we have, it's only because you don't know enough about the products. Because if you will dive in and start learning about the products more and the programs and doing them, it will build your confidence. I can sit here 9 years later and I'm so confident in so many of our products and programs. But I'll be honest with you, I have unbelief sometimes, because I don't know some of our products and programs. But you know what I do when I feel that, and especially with newer ones coming out, sometimes we have new products or programs come out, and I'm like, ooh, I don't know. What? A country line dance workout? Seriously? Only because I had no idea what an amazing workout that was going to be. I really had no idea. I questioned it. I had unbelief in the beginning, and I'm a country music fan, and I'm a country Western dancer, but I still had questions and I still had unbelief because I didn't know. So if you're questioning and doubting any part of this business, it's only because you have not dove in to learning more about it. If you feel inadequate in telling people about Shakeology, or you have someone asking you about Shakeology or questioning you, or you find yourself having to defend it, it's just because you don't know enough about it. So what do? You dive in and start learning about it. Spend a little bit of time each day learning what it is that you feel insecure about in this business. And for instance, if it's Shakeology, do you know we have a Shakeology podcast that's just quick little blurbs about anything that you can need to know about Shakeology, and it's so easy. I listen to it all the time. In my car, I just put it on, and I mean, who doesn't want to listen to Darren O'Lean, really? He's such an amazing man. He has a great voice. So I want to encourage you to start diving into and learning about our programs. Every single program we have comes with a video and a information page that tells you everything about this program. And if you don't familiarize yourself with that, it's very hard to talk confidently to other people about that. If you are insecure about the how we are paid in Beachbody, or the policies and procedures of Beachbody, or this about what we do in this business, then you got to dive into that. You got to research that part in our policies and procedures. You've got to reach out to your upline and say, hey, can you help me understand this? And here's a tip. Google. Google's amazing for anything that you may need to know about this business. So a lot of the excuses that I hear from coaches stem from just unbelief or lack of confidence in knowing the product or the program. And so then they get frustrated because they're trying to share with someone about it, but they don't know enough about it to be confident in it. And people feed on that, or they can pick up on that, right? They can pick up on your ability to be confident in an area. That's why it's so important as you talk to people and you share this with them, that you don't have to know all the answers, but it's how you present yourself. You're going to say, oh, girl, that was a great question. Let me get back to you on that because I want to make sure that I give you the right information. I think I know the answer to that, but let me get right back to you on that. Instead of going, oh, I don't know. I don't know, girl. Maybe you shouldn't do this. I don't know. I quit. No, that's not what you're going to do. You confidently address an issue that you don't know about, right? You just confidently say, I'm going to get right back to you on that, girl. I know what I think that I know the answer is, but let me make sure I want to double check so there's no question about it. And then you dig, and then you contact your upline, and you Google, and you find it, and you're like, oh yeah, it's just exactly what I thought. Here it is, right? So then you didn't, because nobody knows the answers to every single thing. Nobody has the answers in this business. I don't, sitting here today, 9 years later, I'm learning something new every single day in this business. And there are things that I don't know, but I can find out. And we are in a business that is full of resources and tools that can help you get by and find the answers and share confidently. So excuses stem from fear and from unbelief. And both of those we can take care of. Personal development and research. That's how you get past that. That's how when you set your goals and you find yourself falling into a trap of excuses instead of intentional actions, go back and say, I think I need to do more personal development, and I think I need to learn some more. And that's going to drive you towards those goals. I promise you it will every single time. Here's the second tip. Set goals around helping others. We're going to let ourselves down every single time so much easier than we'll let someone else down. And even if that means stepping back from your own personal goals for a second and, not taking your eye off of your goals, but pulling back just a little bit and saying, I need to be pouring into other people. If you're in this business and you've been in this business for any length of time and you have brought in customers or coaches, you have an obligation that's way beyond yourself. And if we're in a business that we can say, I own my own business, I can do what I want. But this is a special business where our actions affect other people. And we bring other people into this business, and it's not fair to them, and it's not fair to your team, and it's not fair to yourself, actually, for you to just go, no, I'm out. Well, what about those people that trusted you, that you brought into this business? What about them? So what you're saying is, I don't care enough about you to take care of you like I said I would. And you're also saying to your upline or whoever else, it's now on you to take care of those other people that I was going to take care of, but I decided it got too hard. It got too hard. And if you go back, remember, I asked you, what do you do when it gets hard? You quit or you get better? And so if you will start putting those faces on your business, if you will start thinking about the people that you said, I'm here for you, I am here to help you. If you will do that and start putting other people in front of you and above you, it's incredible how it just works, that your business begins to grow too, that you begin to grow as a person and as a coach. So sometimes if you step back and say, okay, I'm going to pour into these people that trusted me or that need me, and I'm going to put their face on my goals. Their face is what I'm going to see, and I'm going to start helping them. How can I help you reach your goals? I'm going to start pouring into them and working on myself too, but putting their face and their goals ahead of my goals. And when you start helping other people, it just happens. I'm telling you, it happens every time. And I'm not talking about sacrificing yourself at the expense of others. I'm saying working on yourself as you help other people as well. And I see it happen all the time. And it's just the nature of the beast. This is the business. Are you a Beachbody lifer? And if you're questioning that in your head, it's because you've become self-focused. And we all do that at times. This is not to slam anyone ever, because I've been there too, but you have to snap out of it and you have to think, where's my focus now? So if you got into this business, encouraging others to get into this business, telling others that you would be there for them in this business, and then all of a sudden it got hard and you went, oh, I'm out. It's because you begin to focus solely on yourself instead of focusing on others. And I think if you'll put others ahead of you and start thinking, I've got to do this. I've got to do this for my family. That's one of the biggest things that motivated me through those hard times several years ago, was I just kept thinking, I don't deserve this. I don't need to do this, but my kids did. My kids deserved it. My kids deserve me to be home with them. My kids deserve to be able to have the freedoms and the luxuries in this life that this business has afforded and provided for them. And it's not all about the money, but my kids also deserve to see their mom be a confident, self-sufficient woman who loves God, who loves others, and strives for that. They deserve to see that, because that helps them, that empowers them, and that gives them courage. And we're here to set examples for lots of people, but for me, I just kept thinking about my kids. And so when you put others first and you start focusing on other people's goals and why this business can work or who it should work for, then you get that focus off of you and on other people, and you'll be successful. I promise you. You can write that down. It happens. So put others first. Well, I wrote this down. Do you have a track record of quitting on yourself? Think about that. You don't have to answer that to me or anyone else for that matter. You do have to answer that to yourself. You have to be honest with yourself. What's your life track record like? Do you have a track record of quitting on yourself? If you'll start putting other people first and start focusing on other people, you can put it into that track record. And I want you to. I want to help you do that if that's you. And if it's not you, then it's up to you to share with other people how you do that, what you've done. But honestly, what I have seen, the most successful coaches in this business are givers. They're givers. They put other people first all the time. And the ones that I see that struggle and don't, it's because they tend to focus on their goals and what they want, and then they get frustrated. So think about that. Others first. I want us to be a team, your team through Kristen, but our big team through Upper Room. I want people to look back on this team and think, man, they're a giving team. They really help people and they put others first. And, because that's what we're about, and so yeah, put others first. Then number 3, write your goals and share them. And I know you've probably heard that before, and it becomes very cliche, write your goals down, but it's the absolute truth. If you are only thinking about your goals, and honestly, most of the time when I pin a coach down and say, okay, I need to know what your goals are, they're not very specific. They're just like, well, I want to help people. No, that's not a goal. That's what we do. That's just what we do in this business. So you can't, that's not one that I let get by, because that's not a goal. That's just what we do as coaches. We help people. What's your goal? Write them down. And start writing other people's goals down too. Like, I want to help Felicia or whoever. I want to help Felicia get to Ruby. I want to help so-and-so. What are your goals that go beyond yourself? What are those? Write them down and share them. You have to share these goals, guys. You can't harbor these goals and think, okay, I'm just going to one day, surprise, I made diamond, and share with someone or whatever. You can't harbor those inside and then just surprise people with them, because guess what? It won't happen. You really have to share it. You have to share it for the accountability. You need to make it known. You need to shout it from the rooftop, because I promise you, there's something very powerful about writing a goal down and sharing it that keeps you moving forward, that keeps you filling that gap in with intentional action rather than excuses. So write those goals down, share it, make it known publicly to however that is for you to share those goals. It's, it's always better to try and fail. I know that sounds cliche, try and fail, than to never have tried at all, but it really is true. Or you'll be stuck sitting in the same place that you are from now on. And nobody got into this business because you were okay sitting where you are. And I'm not even talking financially here. I'm talking for lots of different reasons, but no one got into this business because you're like, yeah, I'm good. I don't need to do anything. No, nobody takes on a business, a new business, and being responsible for other people because they're good where they are. So it is better to work forward, to press towards those goals than to not even try at all. And so I hope that you will continue to strive and set those goals and tell those goals, set them and tell them. Number 4, don't beat yourself up. And I'm going to say this. The reason people beat themselves up is because they're comparing to other people. Because they're looking around at other people and saying, I should be like that, or I should have that, or I should be where she is, or I should be doing what he's doing, and I'm not. And you start beating yourself up. So you have to stop the comparison game. You have got to stop looking at other people and wishing and wanting and thinking, I should have that, or I should be there, because that does nothing but stifle you. It does nothing but hold you, grip you, and it equips you with excuses. That's where excuses start to manifest themselves, is in comparing to other people and saying, well, yeah, she's diamond, but she doesn't have 4 kids. She only got 3. I got 4 kids, and that's why I can't be. So you've got to stop comparing yourself to other people, because there will always be someone that's better, further along, doing better, and there is also always going to be someone who's not. I always tell my group fitness classes, don't look around, stop looking around and comparing yourself to anyone else, because it does one of 2 things. It either is discouraging, it either makes you discouraged, or it makes you prideful, because you'll look around and think, oh, I suck. She's so limber. She's so, or you look around and go, I'm way better than her. So stop doing that. Stop comparing yourself. Focus on yourself and how you can help other people while you're helping yourself, and you're going to be so much better off. If you'll do those 4 things, set your goals according to what you can do, what you know you can do right now in your head and in your life. Set goals around helping others. Write your goals and share them. Make it vocal. Shout it from the rooftops. And don't beat yourself up. Stop comparing. And then the last thing I want to leave you with, or share with you, and then I want to take some questions from you, if that's okay, Kristen, because I know people have lots of questions, not just about this message, but other things too. I just want you to be courageously committed to serving others. You can't have excuses, and you can't make excuses when you're courageous about something and when you're serving others. So I want that to kind of be your motto as I leave you with that. Be courageously committed to serving others, and you will be a very successful coach in this business. Thank you.
Whoa. That was awesome, Jackie. I got like 3 pages of notes here.
Aw.
I'll just go ahead. Does anybody have any questions? Does anybody want to say anything? Don't hold back.
Don't hold back. This is your chance, and I know you do, and I'll give you a second. I'm going to look up and show something to you while y'all are thinking about, should I ask this or not? Yes, you should ask. I'm going to show you this. This is the Shakeology podcast. I don't know if you can see it. It's called Inside Shakeology. So many people don't know about this podcast, and boggles my mind. It's easy to listen to if you're not a reader. Of course, I have Darren O'Lean's book too. I can't remember what the name is, but I've got it up there. But y'all should download that, mark that as one of your favorites, and just listen to it as they update it, especially with the new changes, with the new Shakeology formulas that have come out, because lots of people are like, what? There's cane sugar? Wait a minute. What? You don't listen to Darren O'Lean's description and why, an explanation of why it's even better for you, and why it's even lowers the glycemic index and lowers the sugar content. then you can't answer that. You just go, I know cane sugar is not good for you. I don't know. So you got to know. You got to know.
That's so true.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Well, if anybody, I just wanted to say, I loved what you said about don't fill the gaps with excuses, because that is so true. Like, it goes with making your action steps to hit your goal. Because like, you set these big goals and then you don't hit it, and then you immediately start thinking, well, because.
Yep. It happens all the time. And I can tell you from experience, I mean, I've done that too. And that's why I'm saying, like, I think we all kind of fall into that sometime. But the good news is we can pull ourselves out of that too if we recognize it. If when you start to make those excuses, you go, no, I need to fill that gap with intentional action and not an excuse, because it really is just an excuse. And I'm not saying we don't have things that could prevent us from certain things, but most of the time it's time management. Most of the time, that might be one of your personal developments that you need to do. Most of the time, it's time management is the reason. That's the biggest thing. But honestly, we do that in every aspect of our life. It's not just this Beachbody business. So if you walk away from this, taking nothing but to use it in your personal life, we all fill in gaps of goals, whether it's cleaning our house or whatever it is, or getting a book read, or whatever it is. If you find yourself not reaching your goals, it's probably because you filled in the gaps with excuses instead of intentional action.
That's so true. Yes, and time management.
Time management's huge, because we can. I'm telling you, I know coaches that blow me away, that I'm like, I have no idea how you do it, but you do it, and they're very successful, and they could have way more excuses than I do. So when I see other coaches, I'm like, oh, no, it's an excuse. Trade those excuses for intentional action, and you'll see your business go forward.
Yeah. Do y'all want to add anything?
I just want to say thank you so much for taking the time, Jackie. Every time I ever hear you speak, like, it totally lights a fire in me. So thank you. And I would actually, not only the excuse part, but about making manageable goals and things that are realistic that can be done in your available time. I loved that, because a lot of times you do just hear, shoot big, try big. And that's kind of where I know I get discouraged at, is because I'm not setting those manageable goals or even daily goals, and I'm just setting the big goals. So thank you.
Yes. And here's the thing is, big goals are different for everybody. My big goal might just be to get one more diamond on my team, whereas someone else's big goal, like Danielle, who's in my downline, her big goal is to get her second business center to 15-star. But you know what? My big goal is according to my life. And there's never a time that I look at her and think, oh, I suck. I'm so good with where I am. I'm pushing my business forward exactly the way I should be, for my comfort level. And my big goal right now is to get my first business center to 6-star. And I can't, but I could very easily beat myself up if I looked at her and go, oh my gosh, how, nope, I'm not, that's awesome. And I want everybody to have, but when you say set big goals, everybody's big goals are different. They have to be manageable, not discouraging goals. And I'm not telling you that you shouldn't be pushing this business forward, or that it's okay to just go, well, my goal is to not do anything for 6 months. No, that doesn't make it in this business either, because the whole purpose of this call and of what we do is to help you move your business forward. And sitting back and going, well, what fits with my life right now is doing nothing. That's not a goal either. So yeah. But thank you, Kristen, for saying that. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Jackie. I don't want it to cut you off, but I think we're almost at 40.
I love that. I love that you respect everybody's time.
Thank you so
Thank you for having me. I love you all.
Bye. Love you too.
Bye, guys.